Good morning. I am coming to you this morning with Prairie Scraps, and I've got a new product that I've just kind of discovered, been experimenting with to work on for my craft project. And so this last week, um, the company that I've been working with is called Chalk Couture, and I guess I don't even have anything that says anything. Anyway, they make, there it is, Chalk Couture, and they make different transfers, screen print transfers, so that you can transfer things. They started out with chalk paint, and then they've added a chalk ink line. And so I thought I'd try some chalk inking and kind of experiment it with this is the chalk ink. It's the Couture Teal that I'm going to be doing right now. And the transfer that I'm going to be using is called, it is called Explore More. And it comes with these 16 little small mini transfers. And I thought they were just the perfect size to make some trivets for, or what do you call them? Yeah, trivets. Not trivets, but what you use under your cups. So, geez, I'll think of it at some point. Anyway, so what I did was I just have these really cheap square white tiles. I actually had them on hand, so I'm using up my stockpile, which my husband will be very glad because he goes, "How long have I been toting around those tiles?" And so I have used up every single last one. Here's one of them. It says, "Let's get lost." And the inks are permanent. This one says, "Let's go explore." This one is my favorite. It says, "Happy Camper." And and so the adventure begins. Never look back. My husband likes that one with the little VW. And then say yes to the adventure is another one. And wander, I think, is going to be really popular. Explore more. All right, so I did some experimenting too with some black ink and found, and what I heard was that the black ink gets kind of smeary, and so I've spent some little extra time trying to get the black to look more clean, like the teal, and so I've decided to go back to the teal. I like it. It's pretty. I hope it's going to sell well at my craft fair. Not exactly sure. So this is what one of the transfers looks like. I go ahead and write what the transfer says and then what pack it's from underneath it in Sharpie on the back so that I know which side to put it down on. Everybody says don't do it that way. I've done 3 of the tiles. I usually do them in sets of 4 because I'm figuring I'm going to sell them in sets of 4. So I want to run them all together, and I figure that's about all I can do to get them off before they dry too much. So you put the transfer on. They're reusable. You wash them with warm water after you're done. The ink is a little more permanent, and I might show you here one of my other ones that I used the black ink on. You can see how the ink kind of stays on the transfer. And honestly, I'm not spending a huge amount of time trying to get it clean. So I figure it shows that I've used it. So the other things that you'll need for this is you will need that Chalk Couture ink, and you will also need one of their small scrapers, squeegees. I actually cut it down. I took about a third off of it, and so I have a little tiny one, but I kind of like this one that's 2/3. I've been using this for all of my inking. It's the size I like, but I would think this is way too big. So that's all you need. Before I put all the transfers on, I did go ahead and fuzz them. You stick them to a cloth. I used a Norwex cloth, and you can let me know if you're interested in that because I am hooked up with that too. So anyway, I fuzz those before they go on, and you want to do that so that your transfer doesn't stick really hard. And then once we start inking here, you want to go pretty fast because you don't want it to dry on there. So I'm just going to dip into the ink and then go really quickly and just scrape it across. And the fun thing about this project is it looks so professional when you do it. And I'm telling you, I've only done those trivets so far. And then I'm moving on to the next one here. And then a couple of boards I've done with the chalk paint. And I have to say, I think the chalk is probably a little bit easier to use than the ink. But that being said, I want to use the ink on anything that is the glass, any sort of, so these are ceramic tiles. And then I also plan on doing some mugs for our craft fair and get those at the Dollar Tree, and then go ahead and put some of these transfers on them. I've got some Christmas ones, and then I've also got, oh, I've got a saying that it's says but first coffee, and then the other one says coffee and sunshine. You can see I'm just moving right from one to the other. Oops, I got a lot of ink on here, and I try to wipe off some. So this can, like, anybody can do this. If I can do this, you can do this. This works really great. What a great Christmas present to hand make gifts if you're in charge of making it. Our family, we've got 5 kids plus an extra boyfriend, and at Christmas time, so we all just exchange names is what we do. But our requirement, I'm just going to set that aside, and then I'm going to start peeling these transfers off. And you don't, I always have to pick them from the corner, but you don't want to pull from the corner because it'll stretch it. And you want to pull slowly. And oh, I thought that arrow was partially off, and I was going to be very disappointed because this has been working out so nice and slick. So that's one, and I'll usually hold that with my left hand, stick it to it, and then pull off the second one. And then you'll have to excuse me while I go wash these real quick. I'm in my kitchen, so I can wash them just with warm water. Don't want the ink to be on there, and you can wash both sides. It'll re-stick itself. And then I always come back, I'm sorry about that, wandering around, but I come back and I flip it over and right next to my work area, because I have it all covered with newspaper. I suppose I could use a better thing that's not so busy, but I was too lazy this morning. And then I just flip it over and let it dry, and it'll get re-sticky again. And then I dry my hands really well. I learned this with my first set, not to get this wet. I dripped some water and then it started to smear. And then once these are all done, I put them on an old cookie sheet. It doesn't really matter. You could probably just put it on a regular cookie sheet. And I'm even getting some water, so I'm going to be really careful. There we go. Nice and slow. That looks so good. I hope you can see that. How that looks. Isn't that cute? It comes out like that. So then after I get all of this off of here, I'm going to go ahead and, not good not to have nails, put them in the oven, in a cold oven on a cookie sheet, and start the oven up for 350, and as soon as it hits warm, I go ahead and put the timer on for 30 minutes, and I bake them at 350 for 30 minutes. Hopefully you can hear me. And I've been watching it a little bit, and then once the 30 minutes is up, I turn the oven off and let it cool off right in the oven and just leave them so that they're not being disrupted. So that's it. That's all it takes to make 4, why can't I think of what they're called? Somebody put it down there, or I'll figure it out in the comments. Anyway, so I'll dry my hands off so I can hold these up for you so you can see what they look like. But here's the Let's Go Explore. Here is hashtag outside, which I think is really cute. And then, kind of wish it was a camper. But wild and free is the way to be, which is kind of cute. So those are the 4 that I just made, and then I'll just wash this little scraper and put my lid back on my ink so I can use it again. There's just a ton of ink in this. And they say it has like a 6-month shelf life, so I'm just imagining how many projects I'm going to have to do to get rid of that because I don't want to waste it. It's just wonderful, fun stuff. I want to make sure these don't curl back. I might stick this on here. They get kind of curly. And then I'll put those backs back on, and since I wrote on the back, I'll know how to do it. So that's it. That is Chalk Couture. I'm using the Couture ink. And like I said, I'm making some trivets to put under your cups. To finish off these after they're done baking, I will go ahead and glue on the back some pieces of felt, just about this size right here. I'll cut them down, put them on the back permanently, and then I'll package these together with a piece of twine in a set. And at the craft fair, I'll just let people know that they can open it up and look at it if they would like. So they know what they're getting, because I'll do 4 different ones in the same colors. I could have done different colors, but for me, I'm just starting. I'm trying to just keep it simple, and I kind of like the simplicity of it in one color. It looks so professional, and once you bake it, it does kind of bubble up. When I was watching it, I kind of panicked. I'm like, don't spread, but it doesn't spread at all. It just looks like this perfectly. If you run your finger across, you can feel it, but you know that it's going to totally stay there and be permanent on there. It is permanent ink. The chalk is not permanent, so this is a different product. You don't want to get it on your clothes and everything. So I'm wearing old shirts and stuff today because I don't want to get it on my clothes. And then the other thing that you can do it on is also cloth. So you could do some dish towels, or you could do all kinds of different cloth t-shirts, whatever, and then heat set them with an iron, and you're good to go, and it'll be set permanent ink. So I'm pretty excited about this product. It's the Chalk Couture ink. I'll leave a link down below. Please like this and comment, especially if you remember what they're called. They're not trivets. Trivets are the bigger ones you use with your plates, but this is for like putting your cup on so you don't spill or get moist stuff all over your counter. So anyway, comment, like, please subscribe and help me out in Prairie Scraps. And I'm really excited about this new product because it's going to make some of my craft fair items look super, super professional. Thank you for joining me.